Hello everyone, my name is Ashish and welcome to the Stag Instance channel. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss about how to handle the exception in your web application, and then we will see how to write a customized exception class to handle the exception in your web application. So guys, let us start the session. So first of all, I'm going to create a Spring Boot application using a Spring Initializer. So here you can see that we have a Maven project and the Java as a language I'm using as a Spring Boot 2.3.5. So let's change the group name, stack instance. So let's provide a artifact name or the project name as a Spring exception. And the packaging as jar and the Java 8 I will use. So now it's time to add some like dependencies. So first dependency I will add as a Java wave, and then I will use Java boot tape tool to auto like restart my application if I do any changes in my application. So now let's add H2 database, and guys, H2 database is integrated the database of a Spring Boot, and then I will use Spring Data JPA for my repository purpose, like for my CRUD operations. So these are the four dependencies I have added to my application. So let's generate the project. So here it is going to download in a G format. So we need to extract it. So let's go to the downloaded folder, and here you can extract it. And now we are going to import this project inside my Eclipse IDE. So go to the file, open project from file system, and select the directory from where you have just saved your project, and select the project, open it and finish it. So here you can see that we have successfully imported our Spring Boot application inside my Eclipse. So here it is going to take some time to update the dependencies like a Maven update. So yeah, it is updating. Okay, so here I'm going to add all the packages which I'm going to use. So let's go to the Java folder, and here inside this Java folder, let's create all the packages which we are going to use in this project. So select package. So let's provide the model package, and here I'm going to create our like the model class inside this package. So let's add another package, let's say controller package, and here inside this package I'm going to create my controller class. So let's add another package with the name service, and inside this package I'm going to create my like the service class. So let's add one more package with the name, let's say DAO, to create our repository class or a DAO class, right? So here these are the packages I have created like controller, DAO, model and service. So let's go to the model package, and here I will create one like a model class. So create one class with the name, let's say something request order, right? Yeah, so finish this. So this is my like the request model class, and here in this class we have the properties like the order ID and the order name and the order category and the order amount. So let's create all the like the attributes or the properties. So this is order ID of integer type. Let's say order name of a string type. Let's add another string order category, right? So let's add another attribute of double type as a order amount, right? So here I have added these the four attributes, and here I want this order id as a primary key. So just add at the rate id annotation. And here guys, the request order class is my entity class, so you can add entity annotation to make this model class as an entity class. And here I want to make, or here I want to create the table with the name, let's say inside my s2 database with the name, let's say something request order, right? So this is the table name which will the table name will be request order inside my h2 database. Yeah, now it's fine. So let's create some like the constructors. So first of all I will create the parametric constructor, and then I will create a default constructor, deselect all and generate. And now I will create the setter and the getter method for this class. Select all and generate. So guys, I have created one entity class with the name the request order, and here my, and here the order id is the primary key, right? And we have all the constructors and the default constructor also and the parametric constructor, and then we have the getter and the like the setter method. So now let's write actually a DAO class or a repository interface. So go to the DAO package, and here let's create one interface with the name, let's say request order repository, right? Or let's say request order repository. Yeah. And so you need to extend this class or the interface with a JPA repository. So this is my JPA repository, and here you need to pass the entity class name. So entity class name is like request order, I guess. Yeah, request order. Yeah, this is my entity class. And here in place of id you need to pass the data type of your primary key. So primary key data type is top integer, so here you need to pass the integer, right? So this is my the repository, and here I am extending this with a jpa repository, and the jpa repository is like providing all the method for the CRUD operations, like to save any data to a database, to get all the values from the table of a database, and to delete any data to the database, right? So these are the CRUD operations we are getting from a JPA repository. So now I'm going to create one like a service class. So let's go to our service package, and here let's create one service class with the name, let's say request order service, right? So here I want this class to be a service class, so I will mark this class with a service annotation, right? And here I will inject my like the request order repository inside my service class. So private request order, like the repository. Yeah, it's order repository, and mark this with the autowire annotation. And here I am going to create one like the method to insert the the product of the data inside my s2 database. So let me create one method with the public identifier and the return type as a void. Method name, let's say request order to db something, right? So here I want to insert the data to my database, in the starting of my like the loading of this application. So for that, what I will do, I can use at the rate post construct annotation, so that it is going to call this method at the like like at the starting of the application, and here it is going to execute this method. So for here, what we can do, we can create a list of the request order. Let's say request list of the request order. So what we can do here, we can create a new array list, right? So this is okay. So I have to save it first. Yeah. So this is my request order. I don't know why it is not showing me the package. This is my request. So let me write it. Request order equals to new array list. So this is the list. So we need to import it from the util package, and this is our model class. Yeah, now it is showing. Yeah. So request order. All right, and this is the array list. Okay, so let me add all the information of the like the product. So request order dot add method, so we can use the add method, and here I will create the object of the request order, and as the id I will pass, it is like integer type, so 101. So order name I will keep as, let's say, book, and the order category I will pass, let's say, education, and the amount I will pass as a 999 rupees. Let's make the ID as 102, and here I will pass like mobile, and this is like electronics, and the mobile price is something like 10,000. Right. So here I am adding the two information of the product inside my database. So here we need to call the repository, like the repository dot save method. All right. So here I will pass save all method, and here I will pass the request order array list here. Request order. So here it is going to save this data to my S2 database as my application starts up, because I am using at the rate post construct annotation, right? So now I am going to write one like a service method to like to find the product name according to the the product name. All right. So let me write a method, and here it is like returning the double. So find by name, and this is the like the product name. Let's pass the product name, string, and here I will like call a repository. So repository dot, I have a method, let's say find by. So here I am going to create one like the method, let's say find by. So you have to write like find by and the O capital order name. So here it is going to find the like the order or the product according to the name of the order. So here you have to create this method inside your repository, right? So this cannot be like void. So this will be like request order. All right. So this is the method, and here it is taking the string as the name. So this is the request service, and here we need to pass the name, let's say the product name. Yeah, it's fine. So here it is going to return our like the request order. So we need to store in a request order reference variable. So now here I want to return like the price of my. So here I need to return the price of the product. So you can get the price of the product by request order dot get order amount, right? So here it will display or like it will like return the like the price of your like the product. All right. So guys, here I have written one method to find the like the order according to its like the product name. So here I have created one find by order name method inside my repository. So here it is going to find out the order or the product according to its name, right? And here it will return and store in a like a request order object, and then here we are returning the amount of the like the order or the product. So for that I am calling a get order amount method to get the product amount, and then we are returning, right? Yeah. So it is showing me to create. So already I have to, okay. So I have to save it. No, it's fine. All right. So let's go to our controller, and here let's create one controller class, and let's give this as a request controller or a request order controller. So make this as a REST controller by annotating a REST controller, and I want to inject my like the request service. So first of all I will inject the request service, request order service. Mark this with the auto var. Yeah. So now let's create one endpoint, public, and the return type as a double. So get request order by name, and here we need to take this like the product name. So let's call our service, and here we have a method with the name find by name method, and here we are taking the product name, right? So here it is like returning the amount, so you can just do a return here, right? And here I want to call this method with the http get method. So for that I will use http sorry, the get mapping annotation to call this method with the http get method. And here let's part some like the url like get price and slash. I want to pass the product name inside my url itself. So product name. So I want that this product name inside my url should be taken by this argument. So for that I will use at the rate path variable annotation, right? So here the at the rate path variable annotation will take this product name from the URL, and here it will call the find by name method of my service class, and then it is going to call the find by order name of my repository class, and then it is going to return the like the amount of my the all right, so like the amount of my like the product. So yeah, save it. So here I have written one endpoint. So now let's test and let's see that whether our endpoint is working or not. So let's go to our main class, and simply you can just run as a Java application. So here guys, if you will observe that in my service class, what I have written in my service class, I have like if you will see. And all right, so like if you see in my service class, I have written one method with the annotation at that post construct. So as I start my application, so it is going to call this method, and now it is going to save all this information inside my S2 database, right? So I think our application has been started. So let's go to our postman, and here we have the URL. So you can check your controller. So this is my controller get price, and then you have to pass the product name to fetch your like the product. So this is my the get price, and we have the product like let's say mobile, right? So let fetch the mobile. So this is the get method. So let's hit the send button. So guys, you can see that if I add the send button, so I'm getting a null pointer exception. Let me check the product name inside this service method. All right, so we have the product name with the mobile, right? So yeah, so let's hit the send button. So guys, you can see that now we are getting the amount of the like the mobile. So we have the another product as a book. So let's hit the send button and let's check that. So guys, you can see that we have the amount of the book is like 999 rupees. All right. So now guys, let's check the another product. Let's say we are so let's say that we are fetching the product name with the toy, and guys you can all right, and guys we don't have any toy product inside my database. So let's see that what information or the what exception it is throwing. So guys, here you can see that it is just like throwing the error as internal server error, and here it is showing java.lang.null pointer exception. All right, by find name method. So now we are going to handle this exception, and then we are going to create one customize uh, like the class to handle this exception. So let's go to our Eclipse. So here I am going to create one package first. So let me create one package first. Let's say with the name exception something. And now I'm going to create one exception class or the customize exception class inside this package. Request product exception. So here we need to extend this our class with a exception, right? And here I will create one. So let me generate the serial ID version ID. So now I am going to create one constructor, a parametric constructor. So let's generate constructor with the super class. So I will select one like the exception with a string message, right? Yeah, so let's select one with the exception with a string. So here guys, you can see that I have created one constructor, and guys, it is taking one argument as a message. So like it will call a super class method or the constructor, and here we are passing the message. So by this way, we are writing our own customized class for exception, right? So now we are going to actually handle our like the service class inside my. So now guys, we are going to handle our exception inside my service class. So let's go to our service class. And all right, and guys, if you observe that we are getting the exception due to this two line, because guys, it is going to so guys, here I am passing the product name as a toy, and guys, we know that we don't have the product with the name toy inside my s2 database, so that's why it is returning a null, and then we are taking the get order amount, and here we are getting a null pointer exception. So what we can do here, we can handle this exception with the try and catch block, right? So for that, what I will do, I will simply create one try block and then catch block. Yeah, and inside the try block, I will do like the request, and here I will store null. Yeah, equals to null, and then we need to, and then I will store one amount value, and then I will call something request order dot get amount, and here we need to create a local variable amount. So create it as a local variable amount, right? So it is going to, let's say, some value as a 0. So now we need to return this amount, and here inside the catch block I am going to throw our customized class. So to throw our so here we need to create our like the object of my customized exception class. So name of my customized exception class is like request product exception. So new request product exception. All right, and here we need to pass the message. So let's say we are passing the product not available with name, and let's say provide the name as a product name dot. All right, so we can take the name with the only the product name, right? So here we are passing this message as the product name, right? Yeah, so here we need to add a throws clause also. So let's add a throws clause, and here we are passing a request product exception, right? So this is the, all right, so guys, here we are handling our like the exception here inside our try block, and all right, and guys, if I got any exception inside the try, then it is going inside our catch block, and inside the catch block I am like creating the object of my customize exception class, that is the request product exception, and here inside the argument we are passing the message, so directly it will call our constructor class, all right, the constructor of this class, and here we are passing the message. So guys, it will be handled by the exception. So now we need to create one like the advice class also to handle the exception, right? So what we can do, so now we need to create one advice in the controller package. So let's go to our controller package, and here let's create one class, let's say with the name exception advice. Finish this. So here I am going to mark this class with the @controller advice to make this class as a controller advice, right? All right, and now guys, I'm going to create one like the method. So guys, before that, I'm going to write one like a model class, or here I'm going to create one like the model class, and here we need to provide some like the error code or the error message also. So for that, I will create a model class inside my model package. So let's go to the model package, and here let's create one class to like assign like the error code or the error message for our exception. So let's keep the name as a product error. So this like the product error has the two property, let's say private integer as a error code, and the another of a string type with the name error message. So here guys, these are the two properties I have added to my product error model class. So let me add the constructors or the getter and the setter method first. So let's generate the constructors also. Generate it. Yeah. So guys, I have created one like the product error class to show our like the error code and the error message, right? So let's go to our exception advice class, and here what we can do, and here I am going to write one like the method, and here it is going to return our like so here it is going to like return our like the request product. All right, so for that, let's write one method, public, and here I will return a entity response entity, and in the generic part I will like pass my model, let's say model name as like the product error. So here it is going to return our like the product error class. So here we need to throw our exception for this also. Yeah, now it's fine. Save it. So let's go to the exception advice, and here we have the product. Yeah, this is the product error. All right. So let's provide the method name as a map exception. So request. So here we are passing the request product exception as a argument. So now, guys, I am going to annotate this with the like the exception handling, like the exceptional handler annotation. And this exceptional annotation is an annotation is used to handle the specific exception and sending the customized response to the client. So for that, I am using the exception handler annotation, and inside the value we need to pass our request product exception dot class name. Yeah, right. So now, so this is the product error. So this is like error equals to new product error, and here we need to pass the error code and the message. So as the error code, I'm going to use the error code of my http class. So like the http status dot, and the error code, I'm going to use the internal server error, that is the 500, right? So internal server error dot value. So value is going to throw the value of my internal server error, that is the 500. And inside the error message, I need to pass the message. So I can get the message with the exception es dot. We have a message like get message method to get the message. So now let's return with the like creating the object of my response entity. All right, and this is the product, and inside the status part we need to pass our error, and then the second argument I will pass as the http status internal server error. Yeah, so here it is going to return this object of this like the responsibility entity class, and here in the generic I'm passing the product error, and then as the argument I'm taking the error and the http status, right? So these are the all configuration you have to make for your like handling the exception with your customize class, right? So this is the advice class, and here I have made this as a at the red controller advice. So guys, it is going to handle this exception like a globally, right? So let me save all the classes. So here I am using like the boot. So so guys, here I am using like the dev tool, so it should like restart my server automatically. Yeah, so let's go to our postman, and all right, and guys, you can see that. So let me first fetch like the mobile. So let's hit the send button, and let's see that we are getting the amount of the mobile as 10,000. Now I'm going to fetch the product which is not available in my database, like let's say toy. So let's hit the send button. All right, and now guys, you can see that we are getting our customized exceptional error, like the error code as a 500 and the error message as a product not available with the name toy. All right, so guys, in this lecture we have seen how to handle our exception in a Spring Boot application and how to write our customized exception class to handle the exception. All right, so thank you and have a nice day, and see you in the next lecture. Thank you.